Hello, my name is Kimberly Smith, and I am one of the archivists at Aberdeen City and Aberdeenshire Archives, where we preserve and make available historic records related to the city and shire. Today I'm going to give a brief outline of the school and education records we hold for the Aberdeenshire schools. These are mostly held at our old Aberdeen House site. These diverse records can provide information across a wide range of topics. Data can be used to track wider demographic and population changes, lifestyle alterations and focuses, and provide information about the types of education given to inhabitants in the area. Development in education settings and resources are detailed across the years. Additionally, more focused records can highlight individual students and teachers. Many of our school records begin from the Victorian period, when the state was starting to assume responsibility for its citizens' schooling after the Education for Scotland Act 1872. The Act established school boards, which required the creation of formal records to document the running and administration of the school by elected board members. Additional records also include letterbooks and financial papers. These formal records demonstrate the landscape of teaching across a wide span of years. We can see the different focuses of the curriculum, how educational policies reflect the wider social and economic backdrop of the northeast of Scotland, and how buildings have developed over time, alongside the changing requirements of teaching. The 1872 Education Act also included a requirement that school head teachers keep their own formal administrative record of the school. We also hold these logbooks for the schools in Aberdeenshire, and I'm now going to show you some examples of the information they can hold. They vary greatly depending on who was compiling them. Some are extremely detail-orientated, whilst others provide less information. We can see the contrast in these records from these examples. First is a page from the Ellen Infant School logbooks. The teacher describes average attendance and usual week, and gives little other detail. In contrast, these examples from the Order Quahill School logbook, dated 1876 and 1877, are much more detailed, including a note of a fire in 1877, described in the second example. Anecdotal entries are often hidden amongst the day-to-day entries. This amusing one from Victoria Road logbook relays hiccups during the Christmas play, where Mary had to manage both her arm plaster cast and baby Jesus. The innkeeper also fainted. Our Done at a School logbooks show the developments over time in education. There is an emphasis early on with learning by rote, using slates for learning writing skills, and using object lesson cards to teach facts. Soon the radio is used, then television. Different essays written by pupils for exams are often inserted or retained. Other day-to-day entries often depict various punishments. This example from an earlier logbook describes punishment at Kintor School in 1870. A boy is punished for gross swearing and disobedience and is expelled from the school. Later entries for this school describe the teacher's ongoing struggle to get pupils to attend. Prior to the 1872 Act, school attendance was not compulsory. School logbooks also record wider issues impacting schools and the challenges they encountered over time, including the reasons why children were not attending school. The next example demonstrates absence due to potato lifting, whilst the following two show the closure of Fintray School during a measles epidemic in 1885, and poor attendance in Portsoy because of the Spanish flu. Public health can therefore be traced throughout these records. Other historic events often documented in detail in these logbooks are world wars and conflict. Each school's records of these events are diverse and personal, and offer an insight into the response of the pupils and teachers during these traumatic periods. Portsoy's logbook details a school service acknowledging the former pupils and their actions as soldiers during the First World War. The money collected by current pupils for their cause are also acknowledged. Ellen Academy details a short ceremony on Armistice Day, whereby the Union Jack was lowered to half-mast, and absolute silence and stillness was observed for a space of 2 minutes in accordance with the wishes of our King. Other educational sources that you may be interested in researching are our admission registers, which list pupils attending the school arranged by date of entry. If you're tracing family across Aberdeenshire, these can be key in locating where your relative was educated. One of our favourite resources historically used by schools are these Victorian object cards. They were used for educational purposes in Barletta School and taught children how certain objects were made and used. Each card gave information about the raw materials that were used to make objects and provided samples of some of these. You can read more about our school records via our website, or search the records we hold using our online catalogue CALM. This final slide also has our email address and the Archives, Art Gallery and Museums contact form, should you have any further questions or want to contact us to arrange a visit when we reopen.